Behold, a main menu. Let's see how to create that. And we find ourselves in Unity once more. In this tutorial, we'll add a main menu and also sort of a game over menu. For that, first of all, let's duplicate our enemy spawner script and make it 12 menus. And then we're going to do something completely crazy. We'll right click the scenes folder, create new scene, and we'll call this 12 main menu. There you go. And first of all, we'll open the main menu right here. This is basically going to be created in two different scenes. We're going to have one scene where we have the main menu, and then our menus is going to be the scene where we are going to have our game in. And we're going to switch between those with some inputs. When we have the main menu open, we're going to right click UI panel, and then we're going to call this the main menu panel. The next thing is we're going to go to canvas and then switch to screen space camera and take the main camera and move it here to render camera. Now the panel will be centered on the screen. We're going to take this and make it a little bit smaller. Something like that is going to be fine. Then on the main menu, right click UI text. This will add a text to this panel. We can make it bigger from the center by holding Alt and then dragging right here. Let's move this up and let's call this main menu. Now the text, as you can see, is a little small, so let's actually size this up with this font size right here, something like that, and then let's also center it in both vertical as well as horizontal axis. And this is going to be the main menu text. I highly recommend always making sure that your game objects are properly named. This is one of the most important things, especially when it comes to UI, because UI in the hierarchy can get incredibly complicated. So make sure that each of these elements and each of these game objects is named properly. I really mean it. This will save you a lot of headache down the line. On the panel, once again, right click UI button. Let's also make this a little bit bigger by holding Alt and then sizing it up. Let's get this sort of around here. This is going to be the start game button, and then we'll open this up, and this is going to be the start game button text. And yes, even though it gets very long, make sure that this has some good names there. Start game is going to be the text, and then let's just size this up a little bit more, something like that. That is great. And then we can actually duplicate the start game button by pressing Ctrl D. And then let's move this down here. Maybe make this a little bit smaller, something like that. And this is going to be the exit game button. There you go. And this is then the exit game button text. And this will say exit. So there you have it. A very, very simple main menu. Of course, there's all sorts of things we could add. We could add some enemies in the background who are just moving randomly, something like that, to make it a little bit more interesting to look at. For our purposes, this is going to be more than enough. And then let's add the first script of this tutorial. This is going to be the main menu UI. I personally like to end my UI scripts with UI. This isn't, once again, strictly necessary. It's simply a habit of mine or a convention that I personally follow, and you could, for example, as well. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do time.timescale equals to 1. The reason we're doing this will be revealed shortly when we make the game over UI, because when we die, we basically want to set the timescale to 0 so that the game sort of stops. And here we simply reset this basically, and then we will have two public methods. One of them is going to be the start game button, and the other one, we can simply copy this over, is going to be the exit game button. There you go. The exit game button is simply going to call application.quit. This will simply close the application. It's not going to work in the editor, however, once we have built the game, which we're going to see next tutorial, then this will close the application. And the start game button is going to require a new using here, so using Unity Engine .scene management, and then we want to call the scene manager .load scene, and we're going to put in a 1 here, and this is going to be the scene index. Well, what is the scene index? We're going to see that in just a moment, and that's, by the way, all that we really need for the main menu UI here in this case. So let's go back to Unity. And then let's go to File, Build Settings. And you might have a scene still in here. Let's delete this and add the main menu for 0, and then menus, which is the scene where we're actually playing the game, to 1. This is very important, so that those are in the correct order. and then we can close this. Then let's also go to the main menu panel and add the main menu UI to it. Right now that the main menu script has been added, we now have to tell the buttons that something will happen when you click them, and we can do this by simply going to the Start Game button, clicking this plus here, and then dragging the main menu panel in there, so the game object, and then selecting main menu UI, and this will be the Start Game button, and then the same thing for the exit, plus, once again, the main menu panel here, main menu, and then exit game button. And with that, the main menu scene should be done, and if we press this Start Game button, we should switch to our other scene. Let's see if it works. So let's see if I click this. There you go. We are now in the other scene, 12 menus, and we're immediately in, and we're immediately playing the game, and I'm trying to fend off against the goblins, of course, not very successfully. Right, so with that, the main menu is done. Now let's switch to the 12 menus scene here, and let's add a little bit of a game over UI. So let's create a new script, first of all, game over UI. And let's also open up the health script, because that's where we have to make one small change as well. We will require two new things. So first of all, we're going to do in the health script using system, and then we will have a public static action. And this is going to be called on player death. And then we'll duplicate this, and this is going to be on enemy death. So roughly, we're going to see how these actions work. They're delegate types, and we're going to see how this works in just a moment. So we're going to invoke those down here in the die method. And what we'll do is we will simply ask, okay, if this dot compare tag is player, then we know that the player has just died. Then we'll first of all say time.timescale is equal to 0. So this is why we reset it in the main menu. And then we'll say on player death $.invoke. Now the reason we use this question mark is simply so that this is not invoked if it's null. It's just a shorthand basically writing if on player death unequals null invoke. We can simply add this question mark here. And then we'll say else and say on enemy death $.invoke. And then we know that if this game object does not have the tag player, then of course we know that it's an enemy at the current time, and then we can simply invoke this. This will be needed for the game over UI in this case, and we'll just quickly go through this. So first of all, we'll be using Unity engine.ui here. There you go. And we'll have a serialized field for a private text, which is going to be the score value text. So this is the score that the player has achieved. So we're simply going to count how many enemies have died. Private integer score equals 0. And then there's just a few things that we need. We actually do not need the update method in this case. We are going to have an on destroy method though. This is very important. And we also will have a public void return to menu method. This will simply use the scene manager once more. So once again, using Unity engine.scene management, and then scene manager.load scene 0 this time. So this will take us back to the main menu. We'll also have a private void count score method, which simply does score plus plus. So very complicated stuff here. And in the start method, we'll use health.onPlayerDeath plus equals. And then the question is, okay, what do we want to happen on player death? We want this game object to activate, because we actually don't want the UI to start when we start the scene, but we actually want to activate it. So we'll make a private void activate game object, and we'll say this.gameObject.setActive is equal to true. And then in the same vein, we'll say score value text.text is equal to score.toString. So the score that we've been keeping, we will now set the text of the UI to exactly that score. And then here we'll call the activate game object like this. Then a similar thing we'll do on enemy death plus equals, we'll simply count score. So every time an enemy dies, we will simply count the score up. And then in the start, we'll also say this.gameObject set active is equal to false, so that this game object is now false. On destroy, what we want to do is we want to minus the count score here, and also on player death minus equals the activate game object. The reason we're doing this is because when we switch the scenes, then those don't get cleared out. This is simply a very important thing to do here. Otherwise, we might get a null exception because some of those game objects are no longer available. Right, now let's go to the scene after we have created the script, and let's actually make the UI here. So once again, UI panel, this is the game over panel, and then in the canvas, switch this to camera, main camera in here, and then the game over panel, let's make this sort of something like this. Let's move this in the middle. There you go. And then also what's very important on the canvas, let's put the order and layer to 10 so that the UI actually is above the sprites of the player and the enemies. Otherwise, it's going to be below that and it's going to look a little weird. Right, now let's build the UI. So let's add a nice text here. We're going to resize this once again. And this is going to be game over. What a real shame, but that's sometimes how it goes. So let's make this a little bit smaller or something like that. And then make the font a little bit bigger. This is the game over text. And then let's duplicate that, pull this down a little bit. This is going to be your score text. And this is simply going to say your score, but a little bit smaller. So something like 80 maybe. That's going to be fine. Let's duplicate this again. This is going to be the score value text. Drag this down a little bit, and then let's just put in a 0 for the time being. And then last but not least, we also want a button. Let's resize this once again, holding Alt. And then down here, this will be the return to menu button with the return to menu button text. And this will simply say return to main menu. Make this a little bit bigger, of course, something like that. Then to the game over panel, let's add the game over UI. The score value text can be added here, score value text. And then last but not least, on the return button, on click, we'll add the panel here once more, choose the game over UI and the return to menu method. And with that, everything has been set. So let's switch back to the main menu and see if we can actually play a game, see if we can kill some enemies, let the enemies get killed on the player, and then actually have the display on how many enemies have been killed. So let's see. So the main menu, once again, we start, and as you can see, I'm starting to just, let's try to get one of those enemies down. So now we have killed one enemy, and 2 enemies have committed suicide on us. So let's actually just run into them. There we go. We've died with 9 enemies, but the script we have a missing script reference here. That is correct. So let's double click on this, and as you can see, the enemy script does not find the player anymore, so we will have to add a if player unequals null here, and only if that is the case, then we're going to chase the player, otherwise we will do nothing. After we've added that, then the arrow will also not appear any longer. So let's start in the main menu again. Let's start the game, and once again, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and one more, there you go, 9. So now we have 8 here, that's totally fine. And as you can see, game over, your score is 8. And I can now return to the main menu, and it has brought me back to the main menu, and I can start the game again, and I can now try to actually beat it, or, actually kill some enemies and not just let them run into me, which of course is a little bit harder, also kind of where the fun lies in this. I think that one got me. And yeah, let's just run into them one more time. And there you go. Now I have a score of 10. And this is how easy it can be. So let's return to the main menu. Now, once again, exit inside of the editor here doesn't do anything. But once the game is built, then we will actually see that this will also close the game. Right, and that would already be it for this tutorial right here. I hope you found this useful and you learned something new. If you did, I would of course appreciate a like. And I will see you in the next tutorial. So, yeah.